just like maybe I hope you are at least familiar with some other languages like Java or maybe C# or maybe other language, interpreter language like Ruby, PHP, such kind of language. So Python is also a general purpose.
Want to take a raise of hand?
Yeah, maybe anyone who never used Python before or just very new to Python. Only you two guys, right? You are three of four. So we can consider this as a very general purpose programming language. So when it comes to, say, for example, consider C programming language, people don't consider C as a general purpose programming language, right? People call it as maybe systems programming, or because the purpose of the language is mostly to create operating system, or maybe if you want to develop some, say, web server or such kind of things. That's the use of C programming. So, but Java, if you consider that, people call it as a general purpose language because it's used for almost all kinds of things. At the same time, Java doesn't use for some specific things like to create an operating system. But so Python can come into that category. I mean, like a general purpose language, right? At the same time, Python may not be fit for some purposes because of say in the front end Java. For example, if you develop web applications, in the front end you can only use JavaScript. That's only programming language supported by all the web browsers, right? So you cannot use Python there. And of course you cannot use to create an operating system like C programming language. So all other things, say if you want to develop web applications, or if you want to analyze some script, analyze some data. I hear that people using this for bioinformatics. There is some company in ITPL here. They are using it for processing their bioinformatics data and all. There are some organizations, some in Mumbai who are working on some scientific and engineering applications. So there are some libraries. Maybe you might get something called MATLAB. That's what they call. We can do matrix operations, such kind of scientific engineering, numerical analysis, such kind of things. So Python is very well suited for such kind of things. So it can be used for this kind of scientific engineering and web application development. Okay, and maybe I can give some example where Python are not used. Maybe one of the top 5 sites which maybe the full backend developer is that YouTube. That's one good example. That's even Google has almost revealed that, but they cannot reveal the code and not. But they told that very clearly that this, because it is not initially developed by Google, it was developed by somebody else, then Google purchased that. So Google, the YouTube is a good example that it can really scale to web scale, like millions of billions of people can use. There are some other applications where Python is used, that is gaming applications. There is a game, it's called EVE Online. I don't know, maybe anyone heard of that? That's a full application is built backend. It's used by, I get that 50 million live users are using that application. I mean that gaming platform, and that full backend is again is written in Python. Okay, but when I say Python, there are a few things you need to consider. Just like when you say if you ask what is C, it's a standard when it developed by ANSI, right, or ISO standard. But it's not what really C is. C is nothing but it's an implementation. That's what you should tell. Okay, Microsoft C++, right, or GNU C compiler or Intel C compiler. That's the real implementation of that C programming. Similar way, Python also has multiple implementations. In the case of C, we call it as compiler, but in the case of Python, that is nothing but an interpreter. So the most popular implementation or the interpreter is C Python. Because why we call it the C Python is because it's written in C language. Okay, and there are other interpreters, like one is Jython. Maybe from the name you can guess that's developed in Java. Okay, that means it's running on the Java virtual machine (JVM). And there is another one that is called Iron Python. That is actually running on the .NET CLR, right? Yeah, that's another runtime. Okay, and then another example is PyPy. That's a very new one we were just discussing just now. It's again another implementation of Python, which is in Python itself. That's a specialty of that one, and it is using this JIT techniques, just-in-time compilation. Okay, and it's much faster compared to other implementations. It's a very popular. Okay, then maybe few other historical things and Python started developing 1991, right? By a person called Guido van Rossum. He's basically from Dutch. Yeah. He currently works for Google for past 5 years. You might be heard about Google App Engine. That's maybe another good example where Python is used a lot. Google App Engine is a platform as a service. I mean, it gives you a platform where you can develop your web applications. Google will takes care of all your scaling. So Python is the first programming language supported by Google App Engine, and the other two languages supported by, I think, Java and Golang. You know, these are the two languages. So Python is, you know, it has a good position.
What was the last one?
Go is a programming language developed by Google, but it's not officially owned by Google, but the Google engineers. Okay. Anyway, so I think I mentioned a few historical things and where it is used. Any other questions?
Can you tie it with Django, please?
Oh yeah, maybe that's also right. Okay. By the way, I don't have any hands-on experience on Django, so I cannot speak about.
Maybe Ananda can.
Yeah, but I can just refer where it fits into. Okay. Django is a web framework. Means you know, to develop a web application, normally people don't write anything from scratch. Okay, I mean start from a first line. Okay, then start. Okay, that's not a good approach. You know, nowadays people go for web framework because of convenience, because you get lots of things free. So for example, if you want to say, I think he's going to integrate with social auth, I think. So I understand this may be talking about how we can integrate with some social frameworks, maybe Facebook authentication, Google authentication, Twitter, all this kind of stuff and all. How to use the API system. See, this and all already Django by providing some modules built in or maybe kind of add-on, you know. So this all making your life easier. So instead of developing everything from scratch, we always start from Django. So by the way, I came to Zo because that's another framework which is kind of old framework which we are using in my organization. And few other examples which is popular in Python is Flask. Here some people are discussing about Flask. There are how many are using Flask here? Yeah, see, three people you already used Flask framework. That's another very tiny you know, micro framework. So I mentioned Django, Zo, Flask. Another one is Pyramid. That's also a very well designed framework. Some people use that framework. Okay, so there are so many examples. Maybe from other languages which I can give some example. Ruby on Rails. That's a good example for a web framework. You know, mainly used with Ruby and those people. And okay, I think that's good enough for now. You can start with your presentation. Thanks.
My name is Nandan Kumar.